the famous theoretician who said, musicologist, he said that music is very close to speech. It has syllables, it has words, it has sentences, it has syntax. It is just a little bit short of being able to say something concrete. It remains on the sort of an abstract level. And thus we cannot exactly say what Shostakovich's music is about. But his output in general, and this symphony is no exception, is about a human being against hostile environment. And needless to say, the environment for a creative person and for a sensitive individual was extremely hostile in 1930s, 1940s, 1950s as well in Soviet communist terror state. So it is easy to link Shostakovich's works to the circumstances. It is important to know that the Second World War actually was a relief for the oppressed people in the Soviet Union, because finally Stalin had another enemy to focus, and he could not turn. The attention turned from the intelligentsia and the people he persecuted turned towards exterior enemies. So although despite all the hardships that the war created, it became much easier for the creative people because they were left alone. They could either do what they were doing if they were not recruited to the army, if they were too old like Shostakovich for that, or whatever, but they were left alone. The terror returned immediately after the war. In 1946 already the things went bad again, but during the war it was much easier to Shostakovich. We might even speculate that the war saved him, because the Sixth Symphony is such a strong statement against everything that he was expected to do, and the first movement being a requiem to the victims, obviously, of the Stalinist terror regime, which nobody was allowed even to mention. That was an open, it was like it was a challenge to the regime, and you cannot challenge a terrorist regime. It will destroy you, it will just pulverize you. So it is surprising that Shostakovich survived, but I do think that actually the Second World War might have its share in it, that the war came and they had other things to take care of rather than a rebellious composer. It's no coincidence and no accident that Britain and Shostakovich felt later in their life when they met very much attached to each other. They were dealing with the same issues. It is the person against the predominant society, social opinion.
Looking at the political circumstances, 38, 39, this piece is by no means one of the light-hearted Britten pieces, but it's really one of the, let's say, heavy Britten pieces, but certainly very thoughtful and very undermined. I find this piece has a lot of layers, even in the sarcastic scherzoso or even in the sweet passages. There is also dolce espressivo passages, very beautiful ones. But there will always be an element, either the timpani that gives a threatening, very far threatening detail. There will always be something that you feel, actually I'm not on safe grounds here. It's not peace. It might be an illusion. I might want beauty and peace and harmony, but actually no. There's always something threatening coming along. And even this last movement, the Passacaglia, which is also in a certain way written in D major, so it should be something sunny, maybe offering a solution, and in the end it doesn't work. So it's probably an illusion. It's like you want to reach it. In that sense, it has a little bit something of Schumann, actually. There's always this longing for happiness and for real beauty and for paradise in a way, and it never really is possible. There is so much you can, of course, interpret into this piece. Britten was very careful. He didn't give us any hint. Not really. We know that he was a very strongly fighting and fighting and hoping for the Spanish Republic. So he was politically very clear in that sense. Then, of course, in 38, 39, we know what comes in Europe shortly after, so he was also already leaving Europe. He was leaving England at that time when he finished the violin concerto. He was going to America, North America, and I think he finished the piece in Canada, actually. This whole threatening situation was already very, very eminent. Yeah. So all this is kind of, it's playing this piece is a little bit like walking on a ground that is moving. You know, you never can really actually be safe.
This is something that links Shostakovich and Britten. And Britten definitely felt that he was kind of alone. He was socially very well educated, and he had no problem in his life. Whatever he chose to do, he was very well accepted everywhere. But as a human being, he was exceptionally talented, and he thought in a quite different way than the other people. So he probably, right from the very early days of his schooling years or something like that, he must have felt that he's different, and he must have had this inner conflict. And the violin concerto, obviously, starting with this divine melody, sort of maybe cloudless, sincere hope of something, love, maybe whatever good things that might come when these things start to go slightly astray, and the violin concerto ends with this unquestioned unanswered question or a lament. It's whether it's a Shakespearean to be or not to be, we don't know. But speaking in musical terms, the soloist cannot decide if it ends in D major or D minor. So it's but it sort of is a musical question, yes or no, or what is it about this whole thing of life?